Hello, friends and lovers. Welcome back to Hades. And this is going to be kind of a check-in for 2024. Where's Hades 2? What's going on with Hades 2? If in case you've missed any of the information that we got in 2023, I will let you know in this video. But first, let's tee up a fun run to do while we talk. We're going to take out the aspect of Achilles. So that gives us cast and attack damage bonus after we fetch our spear with a special. That's what the glowy lightning effects around Zag are. It's attack or cast damage, so it's really powerful for cast builds. So we're going to take out Ares' keepsake, and we're going to try to go for the old hunting blades build. It's been a bit since I tried to go for that. Probably one of the most broken things in a casual sense, at least, but a kind of rough if you ever want to. It's probably more of a cast problem than a slicing shot problem. Gets rough the higher the heat you go, unfortunately, but still great fun and will definitely carry you through at the lower heats. We're gonna do 32 heat. It's kind of a challenging pack for something like this because we're not taking some of the more convenient packs like Underworld Customs Convenience Fee, but hopefully we'll be okay. Let's get it started. So, Hades 2. In case you missed the info, you know, here we are for 2024. What's the status of Hades 2? So let's recap a few things that they've given us. In December of 2022, they released the announcement trailer that simply told us Hades 2 was coming. We don't really know when. We didn't know when, I should say. We didn't know how. We didn't really know much of anything about it. Nice, we got epic. Other than whatever the trailer showed. They said there would be more gods, that we would be playing as Zag's sister, Melanway. And it looks like Hades is kind of just stuck in the underworld, chained up by the god Kronos. And their theme seems to be death to Kronos. I think yeah, around that time they did give us an FAQ that told us that Hades 2. Ooh, that's pretty nice. It's not that good. What else you got?
I'd like to see more options.
Crap. Went greedy. And failed. Alright, give me this one then. Ah, yeah, we gotta get that duoboon going ASAP. That second Ares would have been nice though. They gave us an FAQ that answered some basic questions. So yes, it is going to be early access first and foremost, which means that it will only be on Steam and the Epic Games Store for a while. How long is a while? I'm afraid we just don't really know. We have some estimates, and I'll talk about that in a moment. They also said that... I'm trying to remember the FAQ exactly what they said. I mean, they kind of just talked about the theming, the aesthetic, and I don't really want to get too much into that. Maybe at least later on we can, but let's cover the basics of everything else first. So it wasn't until, I think it was this past August, or maybe it was July even, where they finally gave us some release information. And honestly, I was suspecting that we might have gotten Hades 2 in 2023, or at least some version of it. Just because it has been a long time since Hades 1 came out. This is not their typical release cycle, you could say. Like, Hades 2 is taking them a while to make. But nevertheless, they told us that Hades 2 will be coming in early access in Q2 of 2024. Q2 starts April 1st. And you can assume that it will not be on April 1st, probably. Because they also announced that there would be a play test. Oh god. Tombstone. Okay, we're fine. Do we want to go for Mirage Shot at the same time? Yeah, we can. We can. We can. Yeah, we'll take a hammer. I mean, it's a cast build, so hammers aren't a high priority. But we have enough money to where I don't think we need to think about... Uh-oh. Taking money right now. So, the playtest is also slated for Q2 of 2024. So, I guess what we can assume is that the playtest will occur... I don't really know how... early, we obviously don't know how early in Q2, but it's gonna be at least several weeks before early access comes after the playtest. So, I mean, I guess if we're lucky, the playtest will come sometime in April, and then early access will come a month, maybe two after that, you know, still within Q2. And that's all the information that we have. How do you get in on the playtest? Well, I guess it's just going to be like an invite thing. They might give us more information on how to get in later on, but we don't really know anything about it right now. So I can't tell you how to get your way in. I do not have any special contacts either, I should probably mention. Sorry. Terms. Yes. I'm gonna take the health too. We're not gonna fight Charon. We're not gonna fight Charon. Not in Tartarus. Which basically means we're not fighting him at all this run now. Okay. It's not so bad so far already, right? Even though hunting blades. So that is basically the release information for Hades 2. Now, they also said that when Hades 2 comes to early access, the amount of content they have planned for the game is equivalent to when Hades 1 came to Steam in early access. So I gotta kind of explain that a little bit. What does that mean exactly? So Hades 1 launched in the Epic Game Store as an exclusive initially. And then it came to Steam about a year later after it came out on the Epic Games Store. So it basically had a year's worth of baking in early access before it came to Steam. So we can expect more content in Hades 2 at the start of early access than we got at the start of Hades 1. Now, how much content is that? Well, a lot of the things were actually in the game at the time of the Steam release. The things that were missing from Hades 1 when it came to Steam were the god Demeter was not in the game yet. A lot of the hidden aspects were still not there. I believe all of the weapons were there. Maybe not the fist, though, to be honest. No Demeter. Maybe the fist wasn't there yet. That was the last weapon added. I don't think we had any hidden aspects if I were to guess, but I kind of can't remember. We did have all 4 biomes. Ugh. I kind of want to just fill the god pool now, though, also. But I also want to pawn the cast. Tough choice there. Let's see, what else were we missing? There was several boons. We didn't have all the duo boons yet either, you know, at least partially because, you know, Demeter wasn't in the game, right? So honestly, like the framework was all there at that point, and that was not, and like the entirety of the game wasn't necessarily always there in early access. When it came out, Lerny was actually the final boss. Talking about Hades 1 still, of course, right now. Anyway. Come on. Whew. Okay, we're cool. Don't mind me. So I guess you could say you can probably expect most, if not all, of the weapons to be there. The majority of the weapon aspects will be there, assuming we even have the same system. The majority of the boons and the gods will be there, but probably not every single one. You can probably expect that all of the major biomes will be there. Whether or not Hades 2 will actually give us alternate biomes is another question, you know? Okay, note all that. We gotta put on Artemis's keepsake. Need some more healing here. Let's go, let's go. So I think that's about sums up what's going to happen for Hades 2. How long will it be in early access is another question. So when Hades 1 came to Steam in early access, it was about 9 months later that it launched into 1.0. And at 1.0, it came out at full release on PC and the Switch at the same time. It was not out on Xbox and PlayStation initially. I think those both came in 2021, like fall of 2021. Almost a full year later, essentially, I believe. So what's going to happen with Hades 2? I mean, I don't really know. I mean, it's safe to say that Hades 2 will definitely be coming to all of the consoles eventually, given, you know, the popularity and just how well the original game did on all the different consoles, right? We'll take Hermes now.
Moving right along.
There's no doubt about that. Will that all happen at launch? I would almost assume so, that when the game launches, it'll simply be out on all consoles right away this time. But that's kind of a guess, you know. I don't actually know that. It seems like with the success of Hades 1, they would probably prepare for this, whereas beforehand, when they were making Hades 1, maybe they didn't know how worth it would be to bring the game to every console right away, you know? We're looking for rush delivery. Ooh. I'm gonna say it's worth rolling again. Damn, didn't get it. This helps with flurry jam, but it kind of doesn't matter. Both of these are okay. Yeah, and this one's funnier. Is what I'd say. So what is gonna be inside of Hades 2? Well, I do got some videos around the channel, kind of covering some of that stuff already. What do boom we got here? We got hunting blades, baby. Pretty early too. That's pretty early. Boom. Your cast creates a faster blade width that seeks the nearest foe. Seek duration 3.3 seconds.
That's better.
Seek duration 3.3 seconds. Does that increase the timer or anything? Like how long it lasts? I'm not so sure. Go, my blades. There we go. Feels like they last a little bit longer. This is Artemis. And Mirage Shot, please. No Mirage Shot. We definitely roll it once. Ow! There we go, baby. Okay, so support fire might look good in this instance, but it's not very good. You only get 1 arrow per cast. Meaning that it's not every time your cast hits, it's every time you use your cast. So every time I throw out a cast, you get a support fire arrow. So it's just, unfortunately, not that good. Attack and special is when you actually hit. So yeah, Hades 2 has been in development for a long time. So now we can kind of talk about, like, what do we think will happen, right? With Hades 2 and what's going to be in it and stuff like that. Based on the trailer, there's a few things you can surmise. The boon system is obviously going to be there still. I mean, I guess you could assume that already, but you kind of don't know with Supergiant Games. They're kind of known for changing up their style with every single game that they make. This is the first sequel that they've made ever so far.
The power of the gods.
We want more Ares boons now. Ooh. Definitely don't really want Zeus. I guess this trial is kind of interesting. Just for more Artemis? Kind of? It does diminish the ability to palm specific things, though. Okay, Poseidon first. Yeah, breaking waves, whatever. So in the trailer, let's cover like the storyline that's going on there, basically. So you see Mel is being trained by Hecate, seemingly preparing to head into the underworld from the surface in order to save her father, who is Hades. Zagreus is not mentioned, is not pointed out in any shape or form. Assumingly, Zag is somewhere and will make some kind of appearance in Hades 2, I'd imagine. We just don't know how much or anything. Okay. Getting ding-donged out here. They also show Hades chained up, being imprisoned by the god of time, Kronos, I believe. There's kind of two Kronos. There's Kronos, there's Cronus, and they're kind of different in the world of Greek mythology as far as I can understand it. The call's actually quite strong with something like this because you trigger so many hits. Yeah, I think it's worth taking.
My senses sharp.
Need that. You have lots of money. Don't need the max health so much. Let's go this way. Ares, where are you? Come back. You are not Ares. We want to fill the pool, though.
Doing business.
Let's take something that isn't palmable. I'm gonna skip buying that health. I think we'll be okay. Hades is chained up. So Mel is going to save him. So the assumption here is that it's gonna be like a reverse Hades 1 in a sense, right? Where you go from the surface into the underworld, right? In order to go try to save Hades, and you gotta fight some big baddies along the way. And the big bad guy at the end is gonna be Kronos. I'm missing a cast. Can't seem to find it. Where the heck is it? 1, 2. I cannot find my third cast here. It's gone. Okay, I think I found it somehow. I think it was like just stuck behind a pillar. Whoa, buddy. Ready. Badong. Oh, it wasn't enough. So yeah, you're gonna start in the surface, and it's gonna be based a little bit more around magic and like witchcraft in some way. It looks that's sort of the theming that we got going on. You got some magical frog friends. It looks like you're kind of hanging out in a swamp a little bit more from the trailer. Her standard weapon seems to be a dagger and sickle combination, so kind of like dual wielding small blades. That's probably going to be the starter weapon because you see a lot of different art featuring her holding these different things. Could use the money from selling this. Sure. We don't need it. Yeah. Let's take that bad boy out. Pick up a hydrolite. Probably pick that up now too.
One more floor.
We already used up our Ares keepsake. The other weapon that they showcased in the trailer is a staff, and it's not totally clear what's going on there. The staff looks like it might be a bit more slower and has larger AoE effects, perhaps, you know. Guess we'll take more Artemis, but we do want more Ares than anything. It's kind of hard to say exactly what the weapons are doing. You don't get a big look at them necessarily. But it is definitely a start, and they look pretty badass still, I'd say. The other thing we see is we see exactly 3 boons from one god, and that definitely not doing that. We see Apollo, who is not in Hades 1, of course, offering 3 different boons, and there's actually a lot of interesting information there. However, I would also guess that what they do show in the trailer is kind of placeholders, and they're not necessarily real boons. Just because looking at the UI and everything, it kind of gives you the idea that this is not necessarily very set in stone what's going to get offered. But there's some interesting terminologies being used there, and they must have had to think about it quite a bit before they put it in a trailer like that too, you know? They make it sound like, you know, there might be a difference between dashing and sprinting, essentially. Sprinting is not really mentioned in Hades 1, except for the boon hyper sprint, which we have right now. Help me. Okay, we take black metal. Pray we get the legendary later. I'm gonna take the second hammer over Poseidon because I don't really want any more Poseidon boons for the most part. Yeah, we're gonna skip the max health too. We'll see if we got another mini boss offer, and hopefully it'll be Ares this time. And we got bigger rifts. But yeah, the Apollo boons shown are very interesting. It also kind of mentions using magic, MAGICK. So you might have some kind of magic bar that you need to fill to use certain moves, and to fill it maybe you got to use like a basic attack, which would be very different from Hades 1, which is kind of just based on all these different nice, we got Ares, all these different like very short cooldowns just based purely on the animation, since not even on the a specific like numbered cooldown that you see in the game. Woo, let's go, baby. Eat it, butterfly. Okay, we got a roll and legendary. Oh, well, we got engulfing vortex, which is really good too. Lasts longer, pulls foes in. Yeah, we'll go to chaos, see if we get like another cast here. We don't have any rolls though. One more cast would be very convenient for this.
In the name of Hades.
We got cast damage. Something. 'Tis something. Take a roll back. Take a roll back. But yeah, the Apollo boons are kind of revealing. Kind of. I mean, it's vague, obviously, but it's interesting. Now, when it comes to gods, they have said that they are going to offer, I think, 12 plus Olympian gods, it says on the Steam page, if I remember correctly. Essentially, it looks like they're going to have all of the Olympian gods offer boons. So that pretty much guarantees that you will get every single god from Hades 1 coming back for Hades 2 and then some. Yes. And then some. So Apollo's already been revealed, right? So the other ones I think you can look forward to probably seeing are, oh god, stretching my Greek memory here at this point. Hera is a big one. It's kind of, so it's not necessarily 100% in stone. I should make it clear, like, who counts exactly as an Olympian god and who does not. Like, Dionysus was kind of not necessarily concretely an Olympian god, you know, necessarily, for instance. I think the egg absorbed a lot of those hits. Hera is definitely one of them. Forgive me. Hera, Apollo, and I feel like there's one more that I'm not remembering right now. Oh my god.
Hi, Aphrodite.
It's not Hephaestus that I'm thinking of, is it? I don't think so. Forgive me, I'm trying. Anyway, I guess it's not super important. The important part is, don't worry, no one's gonna get cut. We don't really see a lot of familiar characters besides Hades himself in the trailer. So we see Hecate, we see Mel, we see a character named Dora, who assumedly is Pandora, essentially. We see a little frog character, and that's kind of it. So we don't really... Oh, wait, no, we see Nemesis as well. The person who originally wielded the aspect of Nemesis sword, essentially. I don't think we want any of that.
These two.
So I think that's about it for the characters. We kind of talked about the story. What about like gameplay? Well, that's just something that we really don't have much info on at all. We just don't really have much of a clue as to how different it'll be, how much of the same it'll be. I think, personally, from knowing how Supergiant develops our games, I think it's safe to say, whether you like this or not, they're probably gonna try pretty hard to differentiate it from the original. You know, I think it's safe to say that you can expect like the boon system and maybe the weapons system in a general sense with the aspects and everything. But they might change up a few different things as well along the way. All right, buddy. God, they move too fast. My hunting blades can't keep up. Come here, buddy. Okay. My cast. Woo! And kaboom. Oh, I didn't even get to do it. He died as Artemis was coming out there. Lovely. And we got our cast damage up. Yeah, we were taking a lot more damage because of that Chaos Curse. Kind of just bad luck that we had it still going in here. And I think that... So yeah, I mean, that covers like what we know. Now we can sit here and talk about like what we think will happen a little bit more if we wanted. It might be worth rolling here, to be honest. For funsies. For cast stuff? Oh man, we got like no cast things, unfortunately. That feels pretty bad. We tried. I'm gonna leave that keepsake on. It might get me killed though, honestly. I mean, so what do we think is gonna happen? I mean, I think we can expect 6 weapons, 4 aspects each. They might do more. I can't imagine that they would lower it though, personally. I would be okay if they kept the same amount of weapons, especially since the same amount of weapons and aspects, especially since they're adding more gods to the mix already, right? So I'm personally okay with that. Damn, no Ares. We tried, huh? No legendary for us. Oh crap, I wasn't trying that hard for the Artemis legendary, was I? I don't think we got a lot of opportunities, to be honest. So we only have 1 Artemis boon afterwards, which is Hunter's Mark. Too bad. That's my guess. The magic bar thing sounds like it might be kind of switching up combat a little bit, where maybe it's not going to be you just get to spam whatever button you want for that particular run kind of thing. Not that that's what we all do, but maybe it will kind of change how we think about how we play, you know? Could be very different. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some big changes to something like the call system might be different. Maybe it won't even exist anymore and they'll replace it with something else. I don't know. It does look like the dash exists in its same form, essentially. Go! Woohoo! As far as we can tell, the dash is essentially the same. Even though the Apollo boons kind of make it sound a bit weird, the dash is pretty much the same. Oh man, we did not get the things that I wanted very much so here. Be strong still, though. Yeah, there's not a whole lot we want down here. Guess we'll take a big palm. Yeah, we'll palm the call now just because we build it up so quickly in this particular instance.
Maybe this way.
It'll deal some big damage.
Not yet.
Do. So many megs, huh? Man, we just did not get the well items that we wanted here. Unlock. Do dum bum bum bum. In terms of things that I would like to have in Hades 2, geez, I mean, it sounds a little, what's the term? Selfish to ask for something like a speedrun mode. But the truth is, a speedrun mode, it wouldn't necessarily be for speedrunners. It would be for everyone, potentially. It might allow for different things, reduce some aspects of RNG in a, you know, normally very RNG-heavy roguelike game. And would maybe allow for some more clarity in certain ways. And I think could also offer some sandbox elements that a lot of people have asked for, you know. You know, a lot of people want ways to experiment with boons ahead of time in something like Skelly's Room. People want that so badly for Hades 1, don't they? Now, there's an argument against it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't put it in Hades 2, to be honest. This isn't me saying that they shouldn't put it in Hades 2, but I can see there being a thought process as to why they might not do it, / want to do it. If you get to experiment and try out all the different duo boons and kind of see like how well everything works over in Skelly's Room, instead of going and starting a run and trying to get those things in a run, then you're going to get your fill within 90 seconds of trying it, and you're not going to want to do that run, you know what I mean? Does that hurt them in any way by... Oops, kind of messed up. It does not necessarily, but it might diminish some of the fun that you could be having in some ways. Now, it makes sense because players don't necessarily have the time to try the hundreds of different possible builds, and they would just want to experiment with it. And I think this is where I can imagine that they're not going to include this as a baseline feature in Hades 2, but it's something that the modding community could help people with that really want it, you know? That is actually available in Hades 1 in terms of mods, where you can... There is a mod where you can just spawn whatever boons you want, wherever you want, including in Skelly's Room. Jeez, daddy. Not quite. Okay, we're cool. That was a bit scary, though. Go! Bonk. Ah! We're cool. Where you at? What are you doing? Say goodnight? Not quite. And good night. Woo! There we go. That was a cool hunting blades build. That was really fun. Made mincemeat of him. High damage output. Kind of scary to use still, though. Requires a lot of different pieces, you know what I mean?
In the name of Hades.
Boo-doo-doo. I think I covered most of the things. I mean, there's more I could have talked about in terms of things that would be fun to see and different theory crafting, but it's not really super important. You know, we covered the important parts, I think, which are the details of when it's coming, how it's coming, and what we do actually know about it. I mean, the main thing that I want from Hades 2 is for them to make something that they love, and in turn, I think it's safe to say that the fans will love it. I will love it. We will all get a lot of time out of it, get to play it a ton, and enjoy it ourselves. You know, so if they're proud of it, I'm confident that this studio will come out with something amazing. You know what I mean? This is a private studio. This isn't like an Activision Blizzard game where they're min-maxing microtransactions or anything like that. So as long as they stay the course and they stay true to themselves, I am very confident in it. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the discussion. If you got questions or if you got your own theories or things you just want to comment about for Hades 2, make sure you let me know in the comments. Otherwise, like, subscribe, you know the dealio, and I'll see you in the next video.